Councilwoman Willis, and I represent District 3. We are here to talk about the facility here at Walkmall Park, and we're also here to talk about some upgrades that we're doing. We're here to give you an update on the pool facility. We have good and we have bad news regarding the pool. The good news is we basically gonna get a brand new pool. The bad news is the pool is in real bad shape. I will just put everything in perspective. In 2017, when we became a city, we transitioned a lot of our buildings, and we transitioned a lot of our park facilities, our police cars, and fire stations, fire engines, and fire stations over to the city. We transitioned them in the state that they were in at a minimum cost, because to rebuild from scratch would have cost more money. However, when we transitioned all of these facilities over, they were in disrepair. Our fire stations, our police stations, a lot of them have black mold in them. A lot of our park and recreation facilities had black mold in them. Sandtown is shut down, and they should be reopening Sandtown in August. We had to close the tennis center because the courts were in disrepair. We haven't had to close Welcome Mall, but we have had a lot of maintenance issues here at Welcome Mall, starting with the roof leaking throughout the building. And we just need a overhaul of flooring and facelift. And the county did not do a lot of deferred maintenance because they knew we were going to become a city. Well, I still think that's an excuse, because if they had been doing deferred maintenance all along, then our assets would not have been in this bad of a shape. So, you know, for me, when people say that they would have liked to remain unincorporated versus becoming a city, to me, being a city, we're now being able to put more focus and get more focus and use our tax dollars for us, because when we were unincorporated, our tax dollars was pretty much supplementing the entire the entire county, and the focus was not on South Fulton. Hence why we are here with buildings that are outdated, that need repair. Hence why we don't have the economic development and offerings that you all want immediate gratification for now that we are a city. So it did not take us overnight to get here, and it's not going to take us overnight to progress forward, but we are progressing forward. And I just don't want anybody to mistake my passion and my relentlessness of getting what needs to be done for this district for being a bully. But this work is hard. It's hard. You know, my colleagues get upset with me because it does appear that a lot of the money is coming to District 3. However, District 3 has the largest park and recreation facilities. You know, it's not our fault that District 3 has Welcome Mall. It's not our fault that District 3 has the tennis center. And so it costs more money to maintain these facilities, not only maintain them, but bring them into repair. So I have asked our park director to do what was done to me. You know, I kept getting different answers when I asked, when was the pool going to get done? When are we going to get the weight room? You know, we have weights and exercising equipment that is over 20 years old, rusted. You know, that pool is over 20 years old. And I kept asking the questions, and wasn't getting the answers until we got the city manager that we have now, Ms. Subadane. She is very competent, and I am glad Georgia Municipal Association sent her our way. And what she did was she pulled everybody in the room. She pulled all the players in the room, and so that I could have and be told that transparent discussion of what it's going to take and what's going on and how long it's going to take to bring the pool back in operation and come up with an aquatic plan, not only for Welcome Mall in District 3, but citywide. Because for a city of our size, we have 115 residents, 115,000 residents. This should not be the only pool in the city. This should not be the only pool in the city. You know, we need more pools throughout the city. I grew up with a strong park and recreation program, with pools throughout the city that I grew up in, Savannah, Georgia. You know, swimming was a big thing in Savannah, because we have a lot of oceans around us, and you know, you very seldom hear of locals drowning. Most of the time when you hear people drowning, it's people who come from out of town and really don't know how to swim. So I think people being taught and learning how to swim I advocate for that. And I'm here because of my husband. This is where he grew up, and he did learn how to swim. But I advocate. I think every child should learn how to swim. Not only that, a lot of our seniors use the pool for water aerobics. So we are here today. We're going to have a transparent conversation about where we are, where we're going, and the timing and the cost and what we have already spent in this facility. And then we're going to take questions. And we have here our park director, the deputy director, park director Tanard Turner. We have our deputy director Tony Jordan. We have Coach P, Patrick. I just call him Swanson, right? Patrick Swanson. He's our recreation supervisor. And then we have Mr. Jim Martinez. And Jim Martinez he brought the pool experts. They're going to talk about the pool. He works in facilities and under public works. And then we have our pool instructor, Coach Zeno. And then we have Destiny, Miss Destiny. She also works here at Welcome Mall Park. So we're going to have a transparent conversation about everything that's going on at Welcome Mall Park and other park facilities that are in District 3. And I will turn it over to you, Mr. And if you haven't signed this, please sign in and put your email address so that we can keep you updated as we progress along with our park facilities. And if you're not getting my newsletters, because I do have a mailer going out. Unfortunately, it's only going to my residents in District 3. And so, but everybody can get my electronic newsletter.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Tanard Turner. I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. Does everybody have an agenda? You should have an agenda and a capital outlay in terms of what we spent. Does everybody have that? If not, that's important for everybody to have that. That's important.
Three documents or two?
It should be 2 documents. It should be 1. The slide should be
We need more competition. We need more. I'll make sure.
We'll make more documents.
We're going to get some more. Yeah, here's a
gonna make some more copies. We're gonna make some more copies. I want everybody to have these two documents because I want you all to follow along with me. So, like Councilwoman Willis said, I just want to have a transparent conversation. Listen to what I'm saying. So, what I want to do is I want to talk about what we inherited from Fulton County. We inherited a bunch of debt. If you want to be transparent, you know, they didn't have a preventive maintenance plan. They did not take care of their facilities, and that's what we inherited. And then we're left here to clean it up. Point blank simple. If we're being transparent. South Fulton, they transitioned that debt straight on to South Fulton, so that's why we're here. That's why the pool is closed, amongst other things. So I remember a time when I was here in 2017, we used to have to put trash cans in the hallway because the roof was leaking so bad. I don't know if y'all remember that. So once they did an assessment of the roof, we actually fixed the roof, but when it came to the pool, they found not only leaks, they found that the steam buried, the barriers, the beams had rotted out. So of course, the contractors would not insure the roof until the beams were set, right? So they had to come in and replace the beams and the roof. Now the roof, I don't know if y'all familiar with it, it was an open air roof, which means that it was attractive. It opened up to allow air to circulate, right? Yeah. So when we rebuilt the roof, there was a decision made not to use the retractable roof anymore, right?
Not by council.
It was a decision made not to use the roof, the same roof. So therefore, it was a translucent roof. It looks great, but what happens is, as sun comes in, it heats up the pool. So there's nowhere for that heat to go. It stays in the pool. So therefore, contractors can't safely go in there and operate. At times, the pool was 110 degrees just walking around in the pool. OSHA standards won't allow people to work in those conditions. So we had to kind of cease operations there because based on the pool and the heat, they couldn't get in there to work. They could not work. So now where we are now, because we're solution oriented, the temperature has gone down a little bit. We're gonna put fans in there that would allow them to be in there safely and work on the pool, as well as hopefully they'll be able to get in the morning and get out about 1 or 2 as the temperatures start to cool down as we go into the winter months. Now, that being said, I had a presentation before council and we met with contractors, so we have 2 options. There's only 2 options. Option 1 is a rebuild and repair. That's basically, I want you to understand what that is. There's a pool pack that operates the pool. And if I'm incorrect, you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? It operates the pool. That's just replacing the pool pack. It's about $800,000 just to replace that. We can replace it, and in these 8 or 9 months, we can be back up. That's it. It's just replacing the pool pack. Keep in mind, there's other things going on with the pool besides the pool pack. Option 2 is to do a complete demolition and repair everything. I'm not saying tear down the whole structure of the building. I'm saying go in, replace the pool pack, replace everything that's wrong with the tiles, the doors, everything. Do a complete overhaul of the pool inside. Now, the first option is a Band-Aid. If we put a Band-Aid on it, we'll be right back here next year. And I'll be right back in front of you, saying the same thing. So we really would prefer to go to option 2. And it's gonna take a lot longer. I'm gonna be honest with you, we're being transparent. It'll take a lot longer. That'll be 14 to 16 months. That's what it's gonna take. And the reason why going with option 2 is important, here's the thing. When we close down the pool, we displace the seniors. The seniors now don't have a place to go, right? The schools don't have a place to go because Westlake and other schools were using the pool, right? So if we go with option 1 and we open back up, we'll be closed in a year. I'm gonna tell you that right now, and you're gonna be saying, why y'all just didn't do option 2? So we're not putting a Band-Aid on it. We're gonna replace it. It needs to be replaced. Because once we replace it, we're gonna have a preventive maintenance plan. That pool will be operational for the next 40 years. That's the way we need to go. Now again, it's gonna take a lot longer, right? But that's the way to go. We don't want to put a Band-Aid on it. We want to go in, replace it, do what they need to do, and so we can get it open as soon as possible, and we can get these kids, we can get swordfish, we can get the seniors, because right now, most of the program in terms of the swordfish is actually still operating out of Southeast, Roselle fan. But the singers, I don't know if they're going to Boundary Waters or to the Y or to the Boys and Girls. I have no idea. The schools have no place to go. But again, what I don't want to do is put a Band-Aid on it, and I'm right back here next year saying it's tore up again. So we really need to go with option 2. That being said again, option 1 is about $800,000. Option 2 is about $1.5 million. And it's gonna take a lot longer. So we're gonna have to be patient a lot longer. So that's kind of where we are with the pool in terms of the options that we have. But that's our recommendation. I did do a presentation in front of council on Tuesday. They will vote on it on the 27th. And hopefully they'll go with option 2. One of the things that we are going to do though, we also have recommendations from myself and Councilwoman on the table simultaneously while we're rebuilding this to build 2 more pools. One pool would be at Burdette, which is the Old National Burdette Corridor, the outdoor pools along with a splash pad, right? So simultaneously while we're doing this, we'll be building that one. Another place, it'll be at Cedar Grove, which is in District 4. So what we're doing is expanding our aquatics program at the same time. Now, I'm not saying we're done. I'm just saying the outdoor pools will be in Districts 5 and Districts 4. And then we'll go on to District 7 and so forth. But we're gonna start there. Because what we do want to do, we want the kids at the Old National Corridor, Creel Park, to swim as well. So we'll have a splash pad, an outdoor pool there. We'll also have one at Cedar Grove. So the goal is the equity and inclusion, to have outdoor pools and swimming programs all over, and it will expand our swim program at the same time. So that's one of the things that we're gonna do. This is a great opportunity to do that while we're putting money here. We're also going to invest in the other districts as well. So that's exciting. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, how long has the pool been closed? And why wasn't all of this started when the pool first closed? I understand you had a problem and you had to stop, but how long has it been closed now?
I'll answer that.
You're starting to do something now, but it's been closed how long? 2 years? 3 years?
So let me repeat your question to make sure everybody heard it and I understand you. You're asking how long has the pool been closed?
Yes.
And why has this just started? Is that what you just?
Yes.
Okay. The pool has been closed for 3 years. 2 of the 3 years we have been in everything was shut down. We was in a pandemic. Everything was shut down. That's the answer. I mean, everything was shut down. Everybody had to stay in their house. We could not let workers come work. Everything was shut. Park and recreation was shut down. We're just coming out of a pandemic. So the pool sat for 3 years. We couldn't allow anybody to work in the pool for 2 of the 3 years because we were in a pandemic. Do you recall where the nation was shut down?
I recall when this Wellmore Park was closed, but we.
Hold one second. I see you.
They let us back in.
They let you back in, but the pool was still in disrepair.
I know. That's why I want to know how come nobody's able. We were back in there. How come nobody was able to work on the pool? I saw them at one point working on the pool, and then they kept saying, "Well, it's going to be ready in the summertime. It's going to be ready," and they just kept going. Now they're just saying they don't know
What you saw them working on was the roof.
Yeah. You said
The problem started with a leaking roof. And so what you saw them working on was the roof. If you were to go over into the pool area now, we have a brand new roof. Beautiful roof. But the problem is we need more than a roof because we got to have a pool pack that is in disrepair. And when I did the walkthrough, I could barely breathe because it was so hard in there. Because the pool sat so long and because the pool is over 20 years old, we have rusted pumps, which is the filtering system for the pool. So we have to get a brand new filtering system. We have to get a new pool pad, which is basically a new air conditioning system. We have to get new gutters. And then we have a brand new slide, and the pieces to the slide, brand new slide, is sitting on the side. We have to get new assistant chairs. You know, basically we got to do a brand new rehab.
And this has to be voted on, you said it has to be voted?
So I am bringing forth,
It's not been approved yet?
one second, let me get Mr. Allen.
No, I was gonna ask basically the same thing, what she just said about the approval process, because that's sometimes people don't understand that. He said this, Mr. Bernard said that it's gonna be put on the table on the 27th for them to make a decision. But what if they don't make a decision, then hence, here we are again, back to this cycle.
Your council person-
Something's not getting done. And that's how she was at, and I get what but I think it's a little bit over 3 years, because Mr. Tenard just said he was here in 2017, and here it is, 2023.
No, Mr. Kennard, no, it wasn't.
Wait, did you
No,
say
no.
back in 2017?
No, you misunderstood what I was saying.
No. But I think it shut down before the pandemic.
No.
It did not? Are you
No.
sure? Okay. Well, okay, I could be wrong.
I have the
could be wrong.
document. Yeah, I have the
Okay,
document.
but all she's saying is, I think it's a little bit more than 3 years, but if y'all say so,
I have the documentation, I can send it to you.
all right, sure enough. Well, I mean, all right, so when the pandemic started sometime in 2020, so that's when y'all said shut down in 2020? Okay. Right. I'm wrong.
So, let me get her question and then I'll answer about the approval.
I hear about option 1, option 2 and everything, but do you have a date in mind when all of this might be done? When will the food, when are you projecting it might possibly go?
Okay, so I am bringing forth a resolution. Well, her question was, when do we project the pool to be open? I am bringing forth a resolution to the council, and I already have the votes, so I'm not worried about it, because I already have the votes, and I already have the co-sponsors on the resolution. I'm bringing forth a resolution to city council at the next city council meeting, to adopt option 1, which is the recommendation from staff to invest $1.5 million to rehab the entire pool. And in that resolution, I am also requesting for 2 pools to be constructed and built. One will go at Burdette, and the other one will go at Cedar Grove. I've spoken with those council members in those areas, and they are in agreement that they want those pools to go in those areas. Those areas was recommended by our park director because those parks, well, Burdette already has programming, the kids, and it's an area that needs the pool recreation. Cedar Grove has nothing. And so, you know, the residents in that area have been longing for more park and recreation activity. So we are bringing that forth to council on the next council, and I already have 3 co-sponsors that's going to approve that measure. So once that is approved, then the next step would be to formulate an RFP, reference for proposal. Because of the amount of money that it's gonna cost, we cannot just, unless they go to the state, and that is an option, to you know, get a contractor that has already been state approved. We have to go through a procurement process and bid that work out. And then once that work is awarded, then they can talk to you about how long it's going to take to construct the pool and bring it online. What I will tell you is that the outdoor pool will come online quicker than this pool here. It's going to take, what I was told, about 18 months
For the pool pack replacement of the air conditioning?
Yes.
Yes.
So for this pool, it's gonna take about 18 months. For the outdoor pools, they're looking at maybe we can probably, depending on the weather and everything, they're looking at we could possibly get the outdoor pools open within 12 months. Let me get this guy right here.
Yes, there are some of us who are in the aquatic field, and I knew just from being in the aquatic field that the pool wasn't going to be open, just due to the nature of a lot of work. You get in the pool, sometimes you find that stuff doesn't work. I have found in the past, I've helped build pools and things like that, that if you talk to the people who actually work there, that you can go through a lot of the discovery and find the things that may or may not be wrong. In the future, with Mr. Bashir, we added to the discussions to get his expertise. We see him here in the meeting now, and just as we saw an example, he was able to answer a question. But in the future, will he be included in those the conversations and discussions about what would go on with the pool?
So one of the things that our city manager, the new interim city manager, did talk with staff about is not including everybody who needed to be in a discussion in the room, and not including subject matter experts and not assessing the situation properly. That's why you have these individuals here, because that is how the city manager that we have now, that's how she handles business. So yes, to your answer. Yes.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question with respect to the pool. With respect to Creel Park, how come Creel Park was not identified or looked at as an option for maybe an outdoor pool, since it has so much available land and we need so many programs, so we need programming over there? It's really important that we get more things over at Creel Park, and I was just wondering why that wasn't above on the list.
It is the city council's goal to open up, do pools every 2 years. Burdette Park was the first choice because Burdette Park already has programs there. Burdette Park already has the infrastructure there. Burdette Park already have a lot of the children programs there. Creel Park does not have that many children programs there. Burdette Park is in a district that has the highest crime rate in the city of South Fulton. And so we want to make sure that we are putting programming in areas. Look, we can't lock our way out of trouble. You know, we're going to have to make sure that we have programs in our park and recreation facilities, and programs that are going to allow park and recreation facilities to operate beyond the operational hours. That's why you had midnight basketball going on at Burdette Park, to try to, get the kids to, instead of getting in trouble, they can come and play basketball. So Burdette Park was chosen. It's not to say that Creel Park isn't going to ever be considered, but we gave Burdette Park the priority because they already have the children programs there.
One of the reasons we don't have children programming at Creel Park is that we don't have enough room to have any programming.
Well, we
So
have
something like that would have been right.
We have a park master plan
Yeah.
that is in progress, and it addresses a lot of that at Creel Park. But we can't do everything at one time. We know we have to do things in moderation, and we have to be Burdette Park is on the list to get overhaul a new building. But when we're talking about trying to roll out pools as quick as possible, and who has the infrastructure, who has the programs, of course, the obvious is here. We already have a pool here, but it's going to take a little longer to bring this pool into repair. So our subject matter experts suggested that we look to construct some outdoor pools and look to areas where we already have the infrastructure in place and the programming and the need. And that's why Burdette was chosen, or recommended to this council. Yes.
Quick question for the Cedar Grove. Do y'all have an exact place where y'all gonna put in Cedar Grove, or y'all still kind of working in the Cedar Grove outdoor pool?
We're doing it at Burdette. Oh, Cedar Grove. No, not yet. But the council member, we had two choices, Wilkinson Mill or Cedar Grove, and the council member wants it at Cedar Grove. Yes.
So I want to piggyback on what Mr. Head said. So now we have the correct person in place, the city manager. But what happens when that person leaves? Because what's been happening is every time someone leaves, it's like the work stops, it changed orders, and we're back, and it takes so long for stuff to get done. So if she leaves, because right now we have the right people in place right now. Before, it's supposed to be had the right people. So what happens when someone leaves, it seems like we have to start all over again.
So, Ms. Ellen, I think you and I have had very transparent and private conversations. We never had the right people. So, you know, I know you're asking this question publicly, but we never had the right people. We got the right person. She's here for up to 2 years. It takes 18 months to bring this pool online. Once the money is approved, once the work is bidded out, well, you and I knew we were, okay.
Yes, you know, I pretty much know the history of Baltimore, Creel Park, Burdett, because I go back when Michael Hightower was commissioned. And yes, we were in unincorporated South Fulton County, and they were responsible for upgrading and expanding on these facilities. It just didn't happen. But my question now is, what resources are we looking into to give money? The bottom line with all of this is money.
We have the money.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Well, that's a good answer.
And the city manager discussed that in our budget hearing.
Right. And as the lady mentioned, because I'm in District 6, and the reason why there's no activities in that park except for full gang activity, a couple of dead bodies, there's nothing there. So they use the park as theirs, okay? And that's why, because lack of facilities and programming is part of the problem, and there's a large population there, okay? You have an elementary school down the street. You have a tri-city area where there's no park, so people come there. So I'd just like to know if we have the money, I'd like to figure out how y'all gonna do all these things in all these parks. I'm just wondering, are you getting the money, is that in the budget, the general budget? Do you have legislative initiatives to raise money? Are you getting money from the state, you know, for parks and rec, or feds? This building was built, it was about $12 million, okay? And Michael Hightower was able to get money for this building because it was a shack in this park. They had this facility built, he had expansion at Burdett, and he had Creel Park built, which was supposed to have a full facility there, but it never happened. So my question is, do we really have the money to do all this?
So you finished? Okay, so let me answer the question. You finished?
Yes.
His question is, do we really have the money to do all of this? That was his question that you all. So we have had 3 budget hearings, and we have had extensive conversations about the budget. Our city manager has presented. We have every budget hearing tape. We are approving a $200 million budget with a $70 million surplus. The city manager has put 23 of the $70 million surplus into capital projects. She has detailed where that money is going. It is online. What we are proposing today to fix Welcome Mall is going to cost another $1.5 million. To build the other pools. Each pool will probably cost, what did you say? Those numbers were for Other pools,
Out the
maybe,
pools,
our pools, they were like, what,
1.2 million.
So we're talking about to restore Welcome Mall and to build 2 other pools. We're talking about roughly 4 million, and we have a $70 million surplus. We have the money. And we got a 0.5 mil rollback. So we're not gonna have that budget discussion today. We wanna talk about the parks and tell you all where we are, where we're going, what we're gonna do. I can have another town hall and go do a deep dive into the budget some other time, but I wanna stay on topic. But the money is in the budget, it's going to be budgeted. What is coming before city council is a resolution to approve what staff is recommending, $1.5 million to restore, this pool, and, funding to build the 2 other pools. That's just a start. We're not neglecting anyone, but we have to prioritize. In 2 years, we may look, Creel Park is in the master plan. So we have to fund our park master plan. And Creel Park is in that master plan extensively. So Creel Park has not been forgotten, but we cannot build everything at one time. So what our council has said, then once we bring these pools online, let's look to what's the next 2 pools we can bring online. But we're just trying to make sure we spread these pools throughout the city and we put them in the most needed areas first. The question was, should we just scrap this pool and start from scratch? And the subject matter experts said no, because to scrap this pool and start from scratch, build a new building, we're talking about $10 million. And all we have to do is put $1.5 million into what we already have, and we basically will have a structure, that's my point, we have a structure, we will have a structure that's basically brand new. Thank you, Destiny. Okay, so I'm gonna let him go on to the next, thing, because I cover everything about the pools. We have subject matter experts here. Did you all have anything that you all want to say to the, yes?
Yeah, I'd like to say that when we got involved actually a few weeks ago, in the options, we would like to present to you actually there is a solution to get this pool fixed in 8 months with leverage.
Okay. What did you say, sir?
The pool pack, I'm going to want to emphasize that, evening everyone, I want to emphasize the experts here are regarding basically the AC unit for the pool, the indoor pool, okay? Kind of 2 different animals when you talk about an outdoor pool and an indoor pool. So our experts here are more specific to the actual pool pack, desert air, or basically your AC dehumidifier system that you have there currently. It is not in great shape. It's not functioning. But they're here to offer their expertise in order to do an alternative in terms of replacing it. And there is a replacement. It will take a year to a year and a half to replace the entire pool pack, the entire unit, from where it is to now, about a year and a half. When, I know someone asked, when are you gonna get started? Once we get the green light, we'll do our RFPs. We'll go ahead, and that takes time itself. We'll go ahead and send it out there. But I will tell you, the time allotted to get it replaced, just the air conditioning unit, will take a year to a year and a half. There is an alternative, and we wanted to present that as an alternative that may be able to reduce that time. And that cost is a little bit less, but around the same, okay? But that is an alternative, and it's only an alternative. But to the direction and the will of the council, we want to replace this. We want to ensure that you have a brand new unit. But we also want to put all our cards on the table as saying there are other alternatives that we will be able to get the pool up and running. That's just one aspect of it. We still have the pool itself, like the council member was saying, the pool itself, the gutter system, the pump system, the blocks, the diving blocks, and the chairs. So there are other aspects to the pool that need to be addressed, and we're working on those as well.
And that's what happens when you don't maintain a 20 or over 20-year-old pool. And so what our new park director has also said that once we get these pools, this pool restored, what he wants to make sure that happens going forward is that we have maintenance plans. When we inherited all of these buildings, there were no maintenance plans in place. Before we move on, Mr. Head, right, mentioned that when we build these other pools, he asked about security and he asked about staffing. Yes, we will more than likely have to add more park rangers, and we will have to hire more certified lifeguards, and we will have to have more staff, because we are not going to risk the liability of not having these pools and not having proper staffing. And of course, we have to have a certain number of certified lifeguards per. So that's subject matter expertise area, park director.
So yes, so of course you've been in the game for 30 years, so you know we have to have more aquatics and of course park rangers, and normally we do the outdoor pools. We'll probably open them Memorial Day weekend and probably close them, I think, Labor Day weekend. I think, am I right? That's kind of how Atlanta runs theirs too, right? Sort of like that. And keep in mind, we're not just talking about just pools, we're talking about splash pads as well. So Madam City Manager charged me with doing the scope of work. I've already turned it in. It's not just the pool, they have a splash pad as well. So Creel Park, keep in mind, like Councilwoman said, we have to start somewhere. But we haven't forgot about District 6. And I have something else, and I'll talk to you all about it after we get out. But I want to kind of move on. I want to talk about, everybody has all this money we spent at Welcome Mall and the South Florida Tennis Center. I want everybody to take a look at this right here. So I want to go through this and kind of tell you the commitment that Councilwoman Willis has for her district, for Welcome Mall Park, as well as the tennis center. So if you take a look at this, we're about to spend $35,000 redoing all the pavilions. Now keep in mind, those pavilions are 25 years old. We start October the 31st, we're gonna tear them down and build them all up. If you notice throughout the park, all the park has new benches. We replaced the benches have been replaced. That was $25,000 worth of picnic tables and benches. That was $25,000. Building reinforcement. When I came here, the building had been pressure washed in 20 years. Am I right? We had black mold in the back. We got the building pressure washed. That was about $15,000. The lobby furniture, if you notice, you probably didn't notice, we have new blue furniture out here now, and the rest is coming. We're gonna spend about $7,000 on new furniture. So again, the furniture is 15, 20 years old. So we're replacing all the furniture, right? I'll let my deputy talk about the exciting part. I'll stay with the dull part. The floors. One of the things that Councilwoman wanted was the floors redone. These floors are 25 years old. So in FY24, I'm gonna spend all the money. When October 1st starts, when Madam City Manager say go, I'm tearing up the whole building. What we're gonna do is replace all the floors, and this front entrance right here, if you notice, there's so much space in between that area. So we're gonna tear the whole front out and redo the front, but we're gonna replace the floors. That's about $900,000 that's gonna go into the building over the next year. The front entrance will be reconstructed. All this will be due, so when you come in, the desk will be closer to you. It won't be so far. It won't be seen. So all of that is about customer service, right? So that's about $2 million over the next year that we're gonna put in welcome out. Now, let's go to the tennis
Hold on a
center.
second, I think people are misunderstanding.
Sure.
They're saying when you do the floors, they're taking the position that you're gonna shut the whole building down.
No, we're gonna do it in phases. It'll be done in phases. We won't just shut the whole building down. We'll do it in phases. We may start in this room and kind of work our way around the facility, so the whole building will be closed down. We'll just do it. We have to do it in phases. Yes, ma'am.
With the amount of money spent, could you see the price increase for our membership?
No, we're not doing it. No, we're service driven. We're not trying to, this is just things that need to happen. This stuff is 25 years old. It has to happen. But like Councilwoman said, my goal is not, when we get it, we gotta maintain it. So it does no good for me to put $1 million in the facility and then the floors look like this a year later, right? We have to have a plan where every 3 or 4 or 5 months, we're buffing the floor, stripping the floor. So the goal is to, once you get the car, keep washing, get the oil changed. See, that's what was happening in Florida County. They had a car, but they weren't replacing the oil, they weren't cleaning it, they were just eating in it, everything, mold was in it, and that's what we inherited. So everything that we get new now, we're gonna maintain it. So those pavilions, when we put $35,000 for pavilions up, we gotta pressure wash it. This building needs to be pressure washed every year. It's a huge building, not every 25 years. But we have mold seeping through the back. So that's gonna be a key, that we maintain the shiny new car. And that's why it's gonna last for 40 or 50 years before we start talking about doing anything new, if that makes any sense. So if you look at what we're doing, I wanna go to the tennis center. $500,000 worth of lights, right? Am I right? $500,000 worth of lights. HBCU tennis championship is now being ran today and tomorrow and Saturday over there. The lights are on, people. Right now, they would be going to DeKalb County, right? Or Atlanta. So right now, they're there. Like they can play till 2 o'clock in the morning. Because we got $500,000 worth of lights. That's a lot of money. Not including the clay courts, $8,000. The ADA compliant round was $40,000. The tennis nets was $7,000. The ring screens was $26,000. So, I mean,
What tennis courts are you talking about? I play tennis over there, there's 2 courts over there, and they're not played. What tennis courts are you talking about?
We have a tennis.
we have a tennis center, South Florida Tennis Center.
Thank you, South
Yes,
Florida
ma'am.
Tennis Center.
South
Okay, you
Florida.
got me confused about these 2 courts over there, $7,000.
No, I apologize, ma'am. So, you, hold on, but you've been to South Florida Tennis Center.
Yes,
Everybody's
ma'am.
been to South Florida Tennis Center, right? If you haven't, you need to visit it. It's absolutely amazing. But what I'm trying to say is, look at the investment, along with the money that's gonna go into the pool. So what we're talking about, $5 or $6 million. And again, we're just trying to improve what they gave us. They gave us a broken down car, and we're trying to rebuild it completely from scratch. So as soon as October the 1st starts, my goal is to spend the money. I'm not gonna hesitate. I'm spending the money as soon as possible.
Let me get this lady right here first. She hasn't had,
I'm sorry.
Mr. Allen, if you don't mind, let her go ahead, because she hasn't had a chance to
I
ask a
apologize.
question. And then we'll get you. Okay.
I've lived in this neighborhood 20 years, and when I first moved in this area, I came to this center a lot and participated in the programs, and I did used to come to the water aerobics in the evenings. There wasn't much room for a lot of participants. And so my question is, number one, are there gonna be enough slots for people in the community to use? Because I felt discouraged as a community resident. And then also, I felt like that the locker room areas were not kept up to the standards that pool locker rooms should be kept. And so I wanna know, are there, as you're going about renovating,
Sure.
what plans do you have in place for that, and to have, people to, train and to actually, so people can more effectively use the facilities?
Well, the first thing we have to do is get the facility up and running, and then we can look to the programming. And so, before we have the grand opening or open the pool, one of the things Mr. Turner does, he already has information sessions. So that type of information you should go ahead and give to him, so that when the pool is up and running and they start putting the programming in place, he has that in mind. How often do you do those information sessions?
Every month. All they gotta do is sign up. If I can give you all my information, I know a lot of times, people don't wanna speak in this forum. So anytime you need to give me a call, I give you my information, email, and we can meet virtually or in person. Because I get a lot of my ideas from the citizens, so things like that I need to be aware of, so I can let our aquatics manager know in terms of the scheduling and things of that nature. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It was.
I guess my only question I'm looking through is, and I see the only thing that's outside, which kind of frustrates me a little bit, is the pavilion, and then you got new parking, and anything real. The kids, those fields haven't been done. I don't think, when was the last time those fields been redone, the sports field for the kids? I've been advocating for that since I moved here in 2009. All these parks, we look at them now, and with them being shut down for 2 years, the resurfacing of those fields out there, it can't cost what some of this stuff costs. With just some new, drag it out, put some new sod, don't cost that much to get these fields back in the shape that they were probably 10 years ago. Why is that never put on these budgets? For the life of me, I'm just lost.
So, Mr. Allen, you would be happy to know that I did walk the city manager. The city manager and I did a walk through this entire park last month, and the fields was one of the things that we did talk about, the field and the fencing. And so that is on her radar. The pressing thing right now, because the pressing thing right now is residents are really upset about this pool. And so the pressing thing, we can't, like I said, I already catch a lot of heat from my, and you know I do, from my colleagues about all of the money being poured into District 3. And so I gotta prioritize. I also have to be sensitive about my other colleagues. They want other things to go, we have to be kind of equitable. So the priority is to get this pool back online and then get other pools in the city built so the strain won't all be on Welcome Mall. That's another problem. The strain is on Welcome Mall. This is the only pool in the city. So everybody comes here. And so when we build other pools, that'll kind of take some of the stress off of Welcome Mall.
I guess my main concern is just kids. Our kids don't have a whole lot to do in going to these other cities. My son, luckily, he was in the good part where everything was up and running. All these parks was up and running. And I'm trying to keep it that way. Because I don't, a lot of this stuff on this piece of paper to an 8, 9-year-old, other than the pool. Now, I definitely want the pool. I love it. I vote for that twice. But what I'm saying is, because I deal with the kids, y'all know I do, and I advocate for it. And I'm gonna keep fighting. That's why I'm gonna come to this meeting, and I'm sure I have one in the next district. I'm gonna sit over at that one too. But what I'm saying is, when are we gonna start doing something outside for these kids and just get on the agenda? I just wanted to be on record. That was my main purpose to come to this, is to say that, and this was the perfect example of what I've been trying to advocate for, and it's still not here. Is getting these fields done, getting them resurfaced. And I know the programming is coming back, got basketball and the new gyms and all that great stuff. But at the same time, we need these outdoor sports. COVID is died down to get these kids back outside.
So, Mr. Allen, you're duly noted, and I just want you to understand that we have over 100 kids in our tennis program.
Great.
We have over 100. I mean, Eubanks was a product of our tennis program. So, we have over 100 kids in our tennis program. We have an award-winning swordfish team. How many kids we have in our swimmer program?
It's about 30.
And right now, our kids have to go to pools outside of our city, and they have won state championships. And so, while I do understand what you're saying, that we do need to restart the fields, it is on the city manager's radar, but we at least have a field that our kids that play football can play on. Swordfish has to go to Fairburn. They have to go to the city of Atlanta to use a pool. And our tennis, we have a huge tennis. So we do have kids that play other sports aside of football. I do hear you, and it is on the radar. But when you're thinking about priority, we do have a field, but we don't have a pool, and our kids have to travel outside of the city to use the pool. And so we want to try to bring that on and still keep in mind and keep that on the radar. And we can, I don't know if it's in this budget. Did you put resurfacing in the budget for the fields this year?
It's not in this budget.
So we will have to.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Allen, let me say this. So I agree with you. But here's the thing, we need turf fields. We really need turf fields. We need turf fields.
They like 1.2.
So you talking about 1.2 per field. So like Councilwoman said, we have to prioritize. So because if we put that in the field and then do the pool, then everybody be saying, why you put it in the pool? Am I
I
right?
ain't
So we're
necessarily
really not.
saying a turf field, but all I'm saying, y'all know what I mean. You can put a Band-Aid on that, and that's gonna last you 10 years.
Well, one of the things that might be an option, is that out of Waccamaw, going forward, we are starting up a police athletic association. So a lot of that, they will do football, they will do basketball. So that money will come out of that budget. So we may be able to look to that as a option. Yes, ma'am.
As
And then
a
we need to
mother
move on.
of a professional baseball player that came through South Fulton, along with several others that came through South Fulton, when you had more than just a field, but a field you could play on, because it's one thing to say you have a field, and then to go on that field and see it's unworkable. You cannot run on a field that has holes. You cannot run, you can't play in those fields. So to say that there's a field there is inadequate. I love Eubanks, but you have a lot of other sports, outdoor sports and outdoor youth that are looking to get back into playing. And you're not alone. Every one of these professional players that have come through the MLB are trying to get you all to partner with the MLB, who will help you pay for doing your renovations.
Man, we are already partnering with one, and that has given us that. I mean, out of Waccamaw, I'm not really sure if you know that Marquise Grissom is running, and he does partner with the MLB, and he has given money to restore some of our fields. Again, what we are saying, I hear what you're saying, but what we're saying is that we have to prioritize. All of it is in mind, but this is what we have to do now, and this is what's budgeted now. We still have a baseball program operating out of here. We still have a football program operating out of here. When it is brought to our attention that there's a hole in the field or there's insects, we immediately treat it. So until we can get to the point where we can do an overhaul, this is where we are now. Here at Waccamaw, the Police Athletic Association will be in play 2024. That's another source, because with the Police Athletic Association, they get funding and they get funding from other places, and that is a pot of money that we can look to that maybe we will be able to put into our field. But right now, here today, this is our priority. This is where we are. We're not saying that all of those things don't need to be addressed. We're saying that right now, our priority is right now getting this pool and getting other pools open.
So with that being said, you're looking at 18 months to get your pool running. Are you also limited in your resources that you can only focus on that pool, so that we have to wait then 2 years before you can start looking at anything else?
When you say looking at anything else, what do you
As
mean?
in the fields, as in those programs?
No, right now, what we're doing is, we are going to focus on bringing this back into play. We are going to focus on building 2 other pools throughout the city, and we're gonna move on so that our park director can tell you what else we have going on in this area. Okay.
Good evening. Yes, oh, I'm sorry. You got a question for Councilwoman Willis?
No, well, I just had a quick question. You talked about the pool, but when are the other activities, the dance classes, those things that are coming back into the
That is a good
recreation
segue, that's what he's moving on to.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name is Tony Jordan. I have the distinct honor of being the Deputy Director for Parks and Recreation. And I'm extremely proud to be in the role that I am. I've been in this role 7 months. The first thing I would say about you, to everyone, that I say about myself, I cannot change the past, but I can take its lessons to better my future. So in 7 months, what I can tell you, that I'm proud to say, I've been in Georgia since 1994, Savannah State, proud Savannah State graduate. And I would say in 95, 96, if I'm wrong correctly, Welcome All was established, and the weight room equipment that's in there now, it will be leaving. So everybody say October 31st. October 31st, as you can see the renderings in there, you have some, everybody should have a copy of it. But it's the new layout on how the weight room is going to look. This is a pretty sign here, it says coming soon to Welcome All Park. And the one thing that I can say, in 7 months of my role, I've been a part of bringing a new initiative to this. So I think that's the thing that our council person is saying, that's the thing that our director is saying. And by the way, I've seen some strategic plans and some ideas and the philosophy of my director, and I can tell you we're in good hands with him guiding this ship. But what I can say, I'm super proud to say, that equipment that's been in there now, it's been in there 20 plus years, and come October 31st, we will have new equipment and new employment. So give yourselves a round of applause. Patrick, we can go to the next slide. Not only that, we are also replacing the cardio fitness room equipment. So give yourself a round of applause. You see on the bottom there, October 31st, it will be installed. So I'll just leave by saying this again. Can't change the past, but I can take his lessons to better my future. But I can say in my role since I've been here, I'm extremely proud that I am a part of an initiative under the guidance of my director that we can say after 20 plus years, we're updating the equipment in this facility and we're having it installed on October 31st. So I heard some of the residents say, do you have dates and timelines? I have to stand on that. So thank you, and with that being said, because we have this new equipment, I wanted to kind of segue to your question. So now it has to be programmed out. We need a fitness instructor. We need all types of instructor around the new equipment. So if y'all can get a warm round of applause, he was just recently promoted. He's been in this department for a while. His name is Mr. Patrick Swanson. He is our program manager, and he will expound on the program initiatives here at Welcome All Park. So once again, I'm Tony Jordan, Deputy Director for Parks and Rec. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
Oh man, y'all sound beautiful to me. So look, Tony Jordan, Deputy Director Jordan has spoken about the cardio room and the weight room. Oh, okay. Also, has just been promoted. I think she signed it today. Your brand new site director of Welcome All Park, Ms. Destiny Hopkins. And she's gonna come up here with me. so we can talk about the different programs. Now, how many of y'all been at Welcome All Park for a long time? All right, so when I started way back in 08, 07 and 08, I know this place was jumping. I mean, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Matter of fact, when I got in at 7, it was about 60 people waiting to get in at 6:30. Am I right, Ms. Blake? And one of the big things we had is a huge senior program that started, they're exercising and working out around about 7 o'clock. So with that, everybody has a booklet. All right, this is our brand new fall and winter programs for Welcome All Park. All right, we're gonna have one for the entire city of South Fulton. We're gonna have that one's gonna be out the first day of fall, what, the 25th? It's gonna be out before the 25th, so you'll have one. And yes, we do have one coming for all the sites, Mr. King and Ms. Crawford. Krill will have one as well, because I know you're gonna ask it later. So I might as well go and tell you now. All right. So, with that being said, I want to start with the senior program, okay? In addition to the weight room, we have Miss Nancy. She just started. It's called Women's Total Body Fitness, and it's free for seniors. It's $40 for residents, $45 for non-residents. She does it on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 to 7:30. Did anybody attend the class? She had it, well, yesterday, right? She had it Monday and Wednesday. All right, so it'll be right here. It should be on where you see your adults at. I'm sorry, I'm kind of skipping around. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, and also what she has is called a Nutrition in You. That's free for seniors as well. So what she does is she tell you, you know, what to eat, what you should be eating, how to prep your food, how to kind of eat throughout the day to kind of keep your body fit. I'll probably be joining that program pretty soon. We also have quilting. They meet on Wednesdays right here. They make some beautiful quilts. There you go. They're going to make me something for Christmas. A Christmas quilt. I already put my order in, and that's free. We also bring in line dancing back. How many of y'all remember the line dancing program we had? Oh, it's back.
That's just for seniors?
No, it's not.
It's not just for seniors. It's not just for seniors. It's for adults. But that's going to be great. We also have Club 55. They actually over there meeting now. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, they play pinochle. Am I right?
Bridge.
We got Big Wiz.
Yeah, they've expanded. So you have to ask them. They've expanded their games because they're getting new people.
Right. And they also have they do potluck all the time. They have some good food. They also go on senior field trips. They went to where did y'all go? Is it J Mars Farmer Market? Am I mistaken? Okay, yeah. Well, they went on a couple of field trips, so they're going to be doing that as well. All right. Also, we're going to have, it's going to be called Coffee and Chat. That's not on this, but once a month, you're going to meet with our Director Turner, or our Deputy Director Jordan, or your brand new Parks Director. The brand new site director, I'm sorry. And you know, just talk about things that you want to talk about, you know, what you would like to see, what there's not enough of, what's going on in the community, and just get updated on a whole bunch of things. All right, now, we're gonna go to youth programming. Right now, we've already started registration for our youth basketball program. That's for ages 5 through 14. All right, they do free skills and drills clinics up here every Saturday. I think it's going to end on the 30th.
Yes.
Free skills and drills. So you have kids that just want to come in and just learn how to play basketball or just enhance their skills. It's free. At what time do they do?
It starts at 10, depending on their age group. It'll tell you if you sign up online what specific time for each age group. So depending on the age group, you can go from 10, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. I think it goes up to 2:30.
Right. Okay. Also, youth track and field is back. We had it at all of the other sites, but Welcome On Park had a great youth track and field program. I don't know if you remember Coach Nelson, but he was the coach. But now we have some great track and field coaches that we're going to bring over, and that goes for ages 7 through 14. And at the end of the track season, if they qualify, they go to district, which will be somewhere. Which district we in? 4, Reno? 4. It'll be in District 4. Somewhere it could be in Griffin or all the other sites, you know, other places that we have. And then after that, they go to the state. It's normally in Augusta, Georgia. We take normally about 40, 50 kids, and half of them always come from Welcome. I mean, every year. It's free, they don't pay for anything, they just bring spending money, you know, to eat. But, you know, we get them down there, the hotels, everything is already taken care of. So that's one of the great programs. Cheer. Now, this is great. We had a cheer program way back. But Miss Destiny Hopkins has just started the annual City of South Fulton Cheer Program, and it's called the South Fulton Phoenix. Y'all give it up for it. So, we're gonna rock the house. We're gonna have great cheer. This is gonna be a great cheer program. We're gonna do cheer competitions. All the good things that we used to do in the past, it has come back. Okay, like I'm telling you, we're doing some good things over here. Also, let me see if I can skip around. Nope, I want to go to this right here. Now, Councilwoman Willis it was during the summer. Yeah. I love this. She did a book bag giveaway at Freedom Park Apartments. All right, and I think a lot of the staff was over there helping her out. We was assisting, passing out a lot of things. We talked to a lot of the kids and a lot of the parents. They want to do things to the kids. They want to get involved in a lot of the programs we have here at Welcome All Park. They don't have the resources nor the transportation to get here. Guess what? It's taken care of. It's taken care of.
All right.
We spoke this over with our director one time. Before I could get the sentence out, he said approve.
Let's go. Wow. Let's go, people.
He said, let's go. So those kids are going to be able to come to our after-school program. They're going to be able to participate in our youth sports program. And, you know, if they just want to come over, that's great. All right, we already in talks. I think it's going to start, like the top of October. The top of October, they're going to start coming over here. So that's called the Welcome All Community Outreach Program. All right, and we are partnered with Salon. Am I saying it right? Shalom. Siloam is a Baptist church?
Church International.
Church International. All right. So we're partnering with them. They're gonna get the kids over here. Yep. Also, we have open game room. Now, I grew up in Parks and Rec. All right. Way back in, but you know, I come up in the Parks and Rec, and I remember every day after school, that's where I went, straight to the rec center. And I knew at 11 years old what I was gonna do for the rest of my life. I literally knew how to open and close a recreation center at 11 years old. Worked the basketball clock, knew how to work the books, knew where all the keys went, turn on the lights, turn them off, I knew everything. So, with that being said, we always had a game room the way we came in. We have the game system we have now, but we had bumper pool, foosball, ice hockey, all that stuff. So every Saturday, if you have kids, grandkids, nephews, nieces, uncles, whatever, just bring them over on Saturdays from 10 to 2? Yeah, 10 until. Just bring them up. Let them hang out in the game room. We got, what they call them, PlayStations and Xboxes and all that good stuff. Computer lab with e-gaming. Am I saying it right? With e-gaming on it. That's pretty big right now. So yes, ma'am.
The center is going to be open on Saturdays, ma'am?
It's always been open on Saturdays from 9 to 5 p.m. Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, the hours of operation is on the front. I do apologize. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a limited amount of kids that can attend?
For the game room?
For the game room?
Yeah, how many kids?
So yeah, because we only have 2 systems, we're limited to about 15 kids, depending on, what they want to do. But most kids want to play video games. So we'll say about 15 kids. And I don't recommend dropping kids off. If you come in to, walk the track or use the cardio room and they go in there and play, that is completely fine. But as far as coming and dropping them off and treating this as a babysitting service, I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm gonna run back out to the car. We can't do that, but definitely I want you guys to be able to utilize this game room. The Hawks have been so very gracious and giving us so many great things. I mean, if your kids are into STEM, we got computers, printers. It's just so much inside of that game room that we just can't keep it locked up, bottled up. We believe the community and the children should be able to access that. I mean, even if, you know, sometimes kids have papers to write, we want to be able to open the room, you know, for kids to be able to utilize these things. If they need help with homework, we want to be able to, you know, go in there and help them with whatever they need. If they need to print off things for school, you need to come. We just want to be able to utilize our facility. We don't want to make it feel like we're trying to keep anyone out. We want everybody to come in, and especially our youth, because I believe it keeps us out of trouble. I didn't get a chance to grow up in Parks and Recs, but I've been here for 5 years, and I can truly say that I see the change and the help that it has for these children. I mean, whether they're playing basketball, after school, summer camp, it helps out a lot. So definitely, if you have kids, you know, nieces, nephews, like Coach Pat said, bring them in to come participate. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I didn't know if you were finished or not.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So I first of all like everything that you all do. I follow y'all on Facebook. My son has been playing all sports here since he was 3. He is 15 years old now. And I do want to let you all know that you might want to wait for that field to be a turf field because it does help with injuries, to lessen injuries. My son is playing on turf fields right now, and I just believe, you know, sometimes patience is a virtue. But I want to also find out, how are you all updating the website for the programs for us to sign up for the programs? Because I just went to your website and track wasn't on there yet. So maybe we're just announcing it tonight, but I've also sent Mr. Turner an email about that. I think I sent you, you know, you may not have gotten it yet, but I think it's important for us to have access to these programs as you're talking about it, so we can go ahead and sign up online. So do you have a plan to make sure that going forward that's available? And also, more pictures. It would be nice just to see a virtual room of what you're describing. Maybe put it on YouTube. Everybody should be able to catch YouTube at home or either on their phone. But I think we just need to get a little more digitized and advertise and brag on yourselves, because everything that you're talking about is great. I just think we need to see a little bit more of it and access it from home.
So that's a communications question that we're gonna transition y'all out so we can, because I don't want to keep y'all too late. We got to get to, but we have our communications team in the back. The problem is that our city manager is going to address this too in the new budget cycle, is that we try to, with the city of this size, funnel communication up through one source, and that is not quite working for us. But the city manager is going to address that in the next cycle, but we do have our communications team. It's not their fault that stuff is not on the website right now, because they don't run the website. We have a communications department that's supposed to do that.
Okay.
And so, Ms. Tangela, while they transition out, did you have anything else to do?
I just want to say, if you guys, moms, dad, sure, the sign up for that will start Monday. It should be on the website tomorrow, and the registration will start Monday. Anybody in here wants to volunteer, sponsor, help out, anything, I am open to it. This is my first time. I'm getting my feet wet. So Monday, September the 18th is when we'll start registration for cheer. Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible for us to do maybe a quick walkthrough through the facility after the meeting adjourns?
Sure. I would be happy to do that. Sure. Yes.
So for the sake of time, right, we're gonna transition into the South Fulton PAL program. We got Fears here, great guy. This is a great program. I grew up in PAL myself, so I love it.
Just to give you a little background about this before Fears come up, we have been operating out of Welcome Park with a lot of athletic associations, and I'm not going to be the one to bash athletic associations, because we do have some athletic associations that do the right thing, and we have some that haven't done the right thing. But the thing about athletic associations is the reason people were doing it, because it takes the liability off of the city. They have to have their own insurance, you know, they have to have their 501c3. Plus, you know, we don't have to staff those programs. Usually the athletic associations have volunteer coaches, and they do all of that. So it has its ups and it has its downs. I'm grateful for the athletic associations because they have brought us this far. But we are finding that City of South Fulton want to, in the long run, try to transition from athletic associations because we want to be able to have more ownership of our programs. We want to be able to hold our staff accountable. We want to be able to pay staff for their time. We're still going to have a volunteer component, but in the long run, we want to make sure that we bring our programs in-house. One of the things that I suggested to the park director is to bring the Police Athletic Association here at Welcome Mall for various reasons. Number one, a couple of years ago, we had a shootout in the park. This park is very busy. A lot of people come here. And so I don't want and this is in the 21st century, one of the ways to bring the community and police together, through sports and through programming. And so this is one of the suggestions in the 21st century policies that I legislated, that it recommends that we create a police athletic association. And so I asked Chief and the park director, would they consider bringing it here, starting at Welcome Mall Park, and transitioning the Football Athletic Association out and just running PAL. And so they acquiesced, and Fierce is going to tell you how it's going to roll out.
Thank you, Councilwoman Willis. To piggyback off of what Councilwoman Willis said, I heard some of you all express concerns about the programs for the youth. So I want to talk about the initiative that the department is going forward with this year, okay? So how many people have grandkids, kids, nephews that participate in sports? Okay, so that's a relatively good amount. So with that, we have adopted the initiative that's been around for a long time, but we want to implement it with the City of South Fulton starting this year. And I'm Corporal Fears, City of South Fulton Police Department Special Services Section, and I also be the supervisor and liaison over the PAL program, okay? What is PAL? Okay. Police Athletic League is a non-profit organization, 501c3. Okay. In 1914, Police Commissioner Arthur Woods began a social movement that would eventually be known as the Police Athletic League. He was concerned for the poor children who lived in congested tenements and organized a citywide search for vacant lots to be converted into playgrounds. So we're going to take it a little bit step above that because that's outdated. We need more than just playgrounds. We need an outlet for these kids. Y'all watch the news, y'all see what goes on. So if we don't have anything for them to go to, that's what we get, okay? Our mission is to provide a safe environment for youth to reach their full potential through partnerships with police and the community, utilizing athletics and programs which are geared towards improving the quality of life and its participants. We're the backbone. Once we offer these outlets to the kids, a lot of times we alleviate a lot of the stuff that's going on in the city. All right, that's our main focus of trying to initiate this program. We have an athletic program right now at Welcome Mall Park, but we wanted to take a little step further and offer a little bit more police engagement because it'll be dual purpose. Not only are they engaging in sports, but they actually interacting with the police while doing it. And we're bridging that together and we're showing them a different way, opposed to what they see on TV or any encounter that they may have had in the past that was unpleasant with police. The vision. The vision is to promote confidence, self-esteem, civic engagement, academic achievement, social principles. This program will aid them in becoming productive members of the society. South Fulton Police Athletic League involves the community. PAL will be a cooperative effort dedicated to South Fulton Police Department officers, executive directors, and South Fulton businesses and citizens. We're going to need the support of the citizens. We're going to need the support of our local businesses that also pour into this program. Promote fundraisers. All funds raised for PAL activities. All funds raised for PAL support activities and youth who participate in the program. So everything we do is solely for the PAL participants. It don't go nowhere else. We're not using the money to build a new pool, all these other concerns that y'all might have. That's not what this is for. This is for strictly the police athletic activities and sports, okay? There's a cause and effect with everything. What's gonna be the cause and effect of initiating this program? There's a direct link between youth crime prevention and the POW program, like I spoke about earlier. If we initiate this program, that gives them that outlet that they may not have had with your standard programs that we've had in the past, okay? Because we have staffing issues, sometimes we have coaches, sometimes we don't. With the POW program, that issue goes away because we have a certain amount of designated officers who take on that responsibility and role to make sure that the program runs smoothly. And that's my job as a supervisor to make sure that we're equipped with everything that we need for the program to run smoothly. Okay? The less privileged youth learn that they have mental and physical resources to overcome any obstacles to achieve success. That's that confidence booster. A lot of our kids lack confidence. They don't get that nudge, that encouragement from us as peers, as adults, to say, hey man, you're doing a good job. Or hey, that was a nice jump shot you did. Or hey, that was a nice home run. Whatever it is that they're engaging in, always promoting them and encouraging them while they're doing it. Which alludes to, they also often gain the reward of feeling that they are an important and valuable part of their community. They feel like they're somebody. If they don't feel like they're nobody and they don't feel like they have no purpose, that's what points them in the direction of doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. And that's when it becomes all of our problem, collectively, as a community. Not just us as the police department, because y'all are affected by the crimes that they commit as well. Okay? Which also alludes to they are more likely to succeed and less likely to commit crimes in the city if we offer these programs to them. Okay? 21st century policing, very, very, very important. We adopted this initiative once we became a city. We became a city back in 2017, and our police department was formed in 2018. What is 21st century policing? Building trust and legitimacy. People are more likely to obey the law when they believe that those who are enforcing it have the legitimate authority to tell them what to do. The public confers legitimacy only to those who believe in that they are acting in procedural ways. All right, so that means if I'm telling y'all what to do, I need to be doing what I'm supposed to do. I have to uphold and follow the same laws that I'm trying to enforce on y'all. Okay? Policy and oversight. Citizens have a constitutional right to freedom of expression, including the right to a peaceful demonstration. Meaning again, I can't come out here telling y'all, hey, y'all should do this, y'all should do that, and I have no direction. I'm just speaking off the top of my head and telling y'all to do something based off of my personal opinion, and what's not in policy. That's not how we do things. That may have been how some other agencies done things. I'm not gonna name no names, but we're not that agency. That's not a police initiative that we're adopting, and that's not how we conduct ourselves as a department. Okay? Technology and social media. We have to keep up with the technology and social media of today's time. It ain't back in 2010 and 20. I'm sorry, Councilman. We're not back in the old days where we were working on computers and we have MySpace. How many people remember MySpace? Remember MySpace? Black Planet, all that type of stuff? Well, that's long gone. We don't do that. Okay. So social media and technology is very important. Implementing new technologies can give police departments an opportunity to fully engage and educate communities in a dialogue about their expectations for transparency, accountability, and privacy. Okay? Community policing and crime reduction. Community policing is my bread and butter. That's what I'm a part of now. And I'm very good at it. And I'm very good at it because I'm good with people. I'm a people person. I'm very personable, I'm very approachable. Anybody can come to me and ask me questions, I'm willing to answer them at any time. I love people, I love my people more especially. So nothing gives me more joy than to work with my people all day, every day. That's what made my job easy, because I like being around y'all. Okay? Training and education. Training and education is another thing that we take very seriously. Myself personally, I'm always looking for different trainings to go to sharpen my skills because I'm always trying to elevate. I never try to stay stagnant, and I'm always trying to stay sharp. So my training is very important to me as well. Hiring officers who reflect the community that they serve and important and not to external relationships, but also to increasing understanding within the agency. Meaning, I have to know what I'm talking about. I can't just come out here and just start spitting jibber jabber and it's not accurate. Because at that point, I'm not doing myself or anybody else an injustice. All right, so my training is very important to me. And I take a lot of it. I go to training a lot. As a matter of fact, I got training in another week. So, officer wellness and safety. First and foremost, I have to make sure that I have a sound mind in order to be able to do what I do best, which is come out here and serve y'all. Okay? So it makes it a lot easier if we're able to provide these types of initiatives so that I'm able to effectively do my job. Because if everybody else is happy, I'm happy. As long as y'all happy, I'm good. I can sleep good at night, knowing everybody's happy. All right? These are some perfect examples of community policing. I've done everything from career days to community outreaches, going to the local stores, shopping plazas, and just engaging with the people. Like I say, it's important to me. If the people are out of touch with the police, we in bad shape. We in bad shape, and that's just the direct answer to that, okay? So I make sure that I make myself visible for everybody. I don't just stay in one space. I don't just, ride around and answer calls. I'm tasked with getting out there, showing my face so that people know who I am. And for the most part, I have a pretty good rapport with most of the citizens in all the districts. I don't know everybody, but I know quite a few people because, like I said, I'm out and I'm talking to people. I'm going to the businesses. I'm introducing myself. I'm asking if they have issues because that's important. That's important to make everybody feel comfortable. Okay? Some more great examples of community police. As y'all see, I like sports, and I also DJ. When it comes to so I'm the department DJ. Anytime we have an event, a city event, that's me. That's me playing the music. And I make sure everybody jam because I love music. Okay. All right. So the programs that we offer, okay, it's going to be not more so just athletics. It's also going to be after-school programs and summer programs. But everything is going to be geared towards athletics, okay? Be it basketball and football. We're also going to implement baseball, but we got to take baby steps, and we want to get started somewhere. So basketball and football is going to be our main focus right now. But baseball and soccer and all of the different athletics that the city offers will roll over into PAL. Okay? So these are just an overview of what the jerseys would look like for our basketball program. And how many people know Michael Jordan? It's not too many people in here that know Michael Jordan right now. So that jersey wasn't a representation of Michael Jordan. I just want everybody to know that. It was a representation of the PAL program being started in 2023. Yeah. And this year. So there's going to be reversible jerseys to differentiate our home and away games, which is important. Because I know a lot of different organizations run into that issue where they only have one jersey. Some people had the reversible ones, some people didn't. But I want to make sure that we are properly equipped to compete. The t-shirts. Every child or young adult, I should say, because the ages range from 4 to 18. That's going to be our age range for participants in the program. But all the participants will receive this shirt, and that's how we'll be able to identify them, because the program, PAL program, is still going to run in conjunction with the after-school programs that Welcome All currently have. Now, we will eventually bridge those together, but how I will be able to differentiate my participants is the t-shirt that we wear, which is, that's the t-shirt. That's just an overview of what the t-shirt looks like. transportation that we'll use for away games, field trips, things of such. That's tentative, that's just my vision of what the bus may look like. But we have to come together, myself and the executive director, to make that type of decision. But that's just my vision of what transportation may or may not look like. Once we hire the executive director, which we're in the process of doing that now, which that should be done, I would say late October, I want to say late October, we'll sit down and we'll work out the logistics of transportation. But transportation will be offered for field trips and away games and things of such. The locations that were prospective was Bird Gym, Waccamaw Gym, Sandtown Gym, which Waccamaw will be home base. This is our starting point. This is where Powell will start off. But I plan to expand to Creel with the football program, not the basketball program, which I know there's a couple of people who mentioned activities at Creel. So like the Director Turner was saying, we have some plans for Creel. We just got to do one thing at a time. We got to take baby steps. Okay. Any questions or concerns in reference to the program? I'm more than happy to answer those.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You were talking about football. Are you also going to provide flag football for girls, or what kind of activity?
I'm glad you asked that. Flag football and traditional football will be those options. So flag football will be offered.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say before we end that these programs actually work. When I first got elected in 2017, we had a high crime community. Hickory Park, now known as Freedom Park, off of Delano Road. We had over 100 violent crime incidents a year in that community. Now we're down to like maybe, 5 a year? And let me tell you how we did it. Yes, we did put some crime suppression in there with partners, regional partners from DA, sheriff, and other law enforcement. But they put a sophisticated surveillance system in the office to help us, crack down on where the crime is coming from. But I also work with Comcast, and Comcast asked me where did I want to put a lift zone. A lift zone is a program that brings the digital divide from low-income communities. It helps bridge that digital divide. So I chose Siloam Church International to put the lift zone because we already have Waccamaw Park here. Siloam Church International got $300,000 of IT infrastructure and 30 computers donated to them. And so Siloam Church International provided volunteers and transportation. They picked the kids up they picked the kids up from Seaborn Lee and Camp Creek Middle School. They service about 25 of the high-risk kids. The schools help identify the kids, and they bring them to Siloam. They give them tutoring 3 days a week, and they feed them, and they take them on extracurricular activities throughout the year, and they have been doing this since 2019. And I've been successful in helping them get some grants, but they need more funding. But Siloam has been pretty much taking on the burden of financing the program once Comcast invested this infrastructure. But what I would tell you is that Siloam tracked the kids that are in this program, and they have made significant strides in school. And I take the kids shopping with the sheriff every year. I go in and do book bag giveaways with them. I do a lot with the kids, and it's just amazing the progress that I have seen the kids in the program make. And these kids are living in trauma, and some of them are living in unfortunate circumstances. But, I always tell them that, they don't have to let the circumstances they live in, be their destiny. And a lot of the kids are doing very well. So these programs do work, and I'm a believer in that we can't lock our way out of trouble, we have to also provide programs and resources. So when people tell you that we're not doing anything for the youth, talk to Silo, talk to Pastor Carter and First Lady Carter, and she'll tell you, you know, it exists and they need help and volunteers. And Comcast provided $300,000. And I could have taken it anywhere, but I thought about the community that needed it, and Hickory Park was situated right behind Siloam Church. And another community that's in District 3 that I go into a lot is the apartments off of Washington Road, the gardens at Camp Creek. And so I'm a believer in you have to meet people where they are. A lot of the children would not come to us when we have mass distributions because they don't have the transportation, they have circumstances. And so that's where we are. That's why, thank you. We have some of the lowest crime in the city in District 3 because we have a lot of things that we have going on in District 3, and we have this park. And this park keeps a lot of kids out of trouble. Yes.
Thank you for having this meeting, because I was really concerned about Welcome Park. Before this was built, it was a little wood house.
I'm aware.
It had more activities then than we have. We have to get back to what we were. And COVID had a lot to do, but it started maybe before COVID. And the pressure washing, all of that was a part of us becoming a city, and this was a building in the city. So we I think most of us knew that the roof was leaking a while ago, a long time ago. So it was a part of the buildings that came with us. But the seniors need their activities back, yoga, Zumba, total fitness, you got that bag, thank you. And the kids, we need our kids playing on our football field. We have other cities playing on our field. We need to get in the community and get our school kids back into Welcome Park and get our activities back where they.
Well, that's one of the reasons we bring in Pal.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying all of our activities, we need to bring them back. Yeah.
That's why we're bringing Pal, because it will be for City of South Wilton residents.
Right.
And go ahead.
I'm sorry. And I do foresee good things about the program and utilization of our fields with our kids. Because to your point, our kids utilize those fields.
Yeah.
And as we do the renovations, rest assured, we won't shut the whole building down. We will have to shut things down as we do the renovations to get it done, but we won't shut the whole building down.
Yeah, we need to open back up now.
Yeah, but people forget, people want immediate gratification, but the truth is, we were in a national pandemic, and everything was shut down for 2 years.
Yeah, but we could have actually gone outside, because the total fitness class I was in here, we would go outside in the back some days and not stay inside. So we have land. I mean,
I hear that. I hear that. The government was not going to take that liability. When they shut the facility down, staff was not here. And we were not going to take the liability of somebody coming up into our facility or on our facility, contracting COVID, and then they turn around and try to sue the city. Bottom line, whether or not we like it or not, we were shut down for 2 years. And even though we're coming out of COVID, and that's why we have such a huge surplus, because we weren't spending the money, we still have a supply and demand issue. We still have a labor shortage. We still have costs that have to, we're still dealing with inflation. And so, I hear people complain a lot, but please don't forget we were in a pandemic and everything was shut down for 2 years. We didn't have staff here doing anything. We couldn't have them here doing anything. And so, we're progressing, we're coming out of it. You have the updates.
Yeah, that's good. It really is. Yeah, it really is. And I'm not even talking about COVID before it goes, Yeah.
And I simply want to say how excited I am about our park opening up, because I was one of those citizens in the district of South Fulton, District 3, who paid money to go over to the Y for swimming lessons. So I am thrilled that as a senior at 65, Bill Debbie gets the opportunity to learn to swim. So I'm grateful.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
It doesn't have anything to do with what you talked about. Waste Pro, can I talk about Waste Pro?
Afterwards,
Yeah,
yes,
I
we
think
wanna,
we did that.
afterwards, okay. I mean, you could talk to me afterwards here.
Okay.
I just don't want to commingle
It's
that.
about Waste Pro.
Okay.
And Murray.
Oh,
And Murray.
Every Girl Shines is last week. He's gone, but the city of South Fulton in District 3 in Waccamaw Park, we have a female youth mentoring program, new female youth mentoring program called Every Girl Shines. And they're seeking mentors, and they already have a list of mentees. And we had a mixer, we rolled that out, and basically it's going to be for females between the age of 14 to 16. And it is a new program that is here at City of South Fulton that will focus on mentoring youth. Female youth. We have a lot of male programs, but we felt like that was a need. We need to have programs for female youth. So if you want to know more information about Every Girl Shine, please reach out to the park director or reach out to me, and I can get you engaged with Every Girl Shine. But I'm really excited about that. We had a mixer last week, and we had a huge turnout, and we heard some testimonies. And the good thing about Every Girl Shines is that they also give scholarships to the students. Not necessarily if they want to go to college, but if they want to start their own business or if they want to go to trade school. So they give them a scholarship once they complete the program to do whatever they endeavor. All right, any other questions? All right, well, thank you all for coming out. If you have any questions, just, you can always reach out to me via email. I'm accessible via email or phone.